Now, there's two Secret Service details. There's a Secret Service detail that goes before the president arrives and scopes out the scene, sets up, builds the tower, gets the tower, all that shit, locks everything, get ready for that. And then you have the Secret Service detail that travels with the president. So the ones that get there, they're cool, they're laid back. I was talking to a few of them once I got there kind of early. So, and then you have the regular cops, and you have the state cops, everybody just blocking off the roads and stuff like that. So you get there a little early, and you're like, yeah, you could feel helicopter going there. You're like, okay, you kind of feel that this, you tensed up like, oh shit, like, man, make sure I have a pen on me, like, make sure I ain't got nothing that's viewed as a weapon.
Back at it again. It's the Photo Culture Podcast. I go by the name Exotic Rozay. I have my co-host Money Mitch, and today we have a special guest, DJ MDot.
Yeah. What up, fellas? What's going on?
What's going on?
What's popping?
Man, I'm just excited to be here, man. Thank y'all for having me on.
No problem. Anytime. Yeah.
Thank you.
Since it's your first time here, I just wanted to get like a little background information for our viewers and listeners. So let's start from where you were born, and that was in Daytona Beach, correct?
Yeah, man, small town outside of Daytona Beach. So Daytona Beach being the spring break capital used to be back in the day, but so I was born in a small town outside of Daytona.
Oh, okay.
Population was real small, maybe like 15K. So real country-ish, you know what I'm saying? Like, people from the South moved a little bit even further south and did their thing. So lived there till about the second grade. Then we relocated to Orlando, tried that out for a little bit. And then, which is only 45 minutes from Daytona. And then my mom got an opportunity to, when she applied for a job in Miami. And we packed up and moved to Miami, and been here ever since for the most part.
Okay, and that was the dispatcher, right?
Yeah, man. My mom. So when she was younger, when I was younger, she was a dispatcher for the police. So I basically lived with my grandparents, and then I only saw her on the weekends when she had time off. And then when we all moved to Miami, she got a job with the fire department. So my mom is one of them women, you know what I mean? The police department when I was a kid, and then when I was a little bit older, came to the fire department. Like, so she's one of them strong black, you know what I mean?
Queens.
Yeah, strong black queens that you don't cross. Because she might hit you with the
Hit her with a jab. She's
Yeah.
she's that mother that's at church when you talk and she start, hey, psh.
Oh yeah, but when you're gotta hit you, and when you're in church, she just give you the
that look. Yeah, those are the words. You know not to say that after that.
it's a wrap after that. You in for good ass whooping once you get out of church, and maybe a few cuss words.
How was it growing up? Like, how many brothers and sisters do you have? Because your father was in your life too, right?
No, man. So I come from a single parent household, which is made me who I am today. Mother played both roles. I have an older brother that was obviously in the picture when we did all that, and then later on my younger brother came when my mom remarried. But yeah, man, growing up with my older brother was cool. You know how, when you're the younger brother, you want to do everything your older brother does. Mm-hmm. So, I follow his lead with baseball and stuff like that. Started playing baseball, when I was really, really young. And then we moved to Miami. He played football, so I wanted to play football. And then, I wanted to make my own pass, so I started to hoop. And he tried to hoop, but I would bust his ass. He couldn't hang. Stuff like that. But growing up was pretty cool, man. Like, in a single parent household, you don't really know if your parents, if your mother or father do a really good job of hiding the fact that you may be struggling, then you won't even ever know that you're struggling when you're a kid. You feel me?
Yeah, you only notice when you start getting older.
She did a really good job of never went without lunch money. even though we had to eat maybe hot dogs for dinner 2-3 nights a week, you know what I'm saying, or a sandwich or something. But
mine was peanut butter and jelly. I still eat peanut butter and jelly to this day.
Oh man, that's my midnight snack for real. No,
my girl would be like, "You always eating that?" I'm just used to it, man.
Yeah, same. I don't care how much money I get. That's always gonna be my go-to, bro.
What?
So instead of walking downstairs and getting some Debbie snack cakes or 6-pack of cookies, I'll just walk downstairs and make me a peanut butter and jelly and call it a day.
Yeah, it's good for you anyway. Like peanut butter is good for you anyway. Make your bones strong. So I don't know what you complaining about. That's what I be saying.
But the jelly is what gets you though. That's
yeah.
That'll get you. But yeah, man, my childhood was pretty dope, man. Again, it was filled with a lot of love and stuff, and just didn't really know that we were without things because my mom did a really good job of kind of hiding that. You know,
true. Yeah, so your name DJ MDot. Every time I ask a DJ like how do you get that, how do you get your name, they usually have a unique way of saying how they got the name, but you have like a simple way of like how you got your name. So go ahead and like explain.
It's hella simple. So what's your first name?
Roosevelt.
All right, so Roosevelt. If you were to abbreviate your name, you would put R. dot your last name, right?
Yeah,
that's all it is, man. That's it. So at first, when I first got into the business as just a club MC before I started DJing, and this was way before the radio and all that stuff, I was M. Dot. So it was basically almost 2 dots.
Okay.
That doesn't roll off the tongue that well. Like, yo, what up, M.
Dot, yeah.
I was M. Dot, but if you were to read it on paper, the shit saying M. Dot.
Dot, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't the look, but so eventually I just took off the period and left the DOT and rock with that. My first name is Michael, so that ain't no real big, story
behind that.
It's real simple.
What was your original Instagram name? M. Dot, then a dot, or did you change it later on, or what?
No. My original was I am DJ MDot.
Oh, okay.
And that was because somebody had DJ MDot at the time, and then I don't know what happened with their page, but once I saw them,
take it out, yeah,
I scooped that up. And then I hit the trademark on it, so you can't even use MDot now. You can't even use DJ MDot anywhere without my attorney sending you something like, "Hey, you might want to stop using that in your best interest."
Cease and desist.
Yeah, might as well stop using that.
All right, and then I know you just say you started as an MC. Most of the DJs I spoke to in the past, like the older ones, most of them started as an MC. Now, if I ask one of these newer DJs, like that just pull up with a laptop nowadays, it's more easier, I guess, to be a DJ.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us a little background information about like how important the MC was back in those days.
Well, I look at, so you have the art of DJing, turntablism and stuff like that, and I've always considered it myself as an entertainer. So I'm there to entertain you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll cut and do that, and the music will get you where you're going, but I'm going to use my voice to take you to another level, and so you can feel that engagement. You can feel like I'm basically talking to you one-on-one, even though I'm talking to a room full of people. Crowd. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just end up growing up around people who I was influenced by, i.e. the Iries, one of my mentors, the Khaled's, the DJ Epps, people like that were
legends.
Dope on the turntables, but also you get that microphone to them, you might lose your mind if they said something dope, and that might take that party to the party was already here, and now the party is out of here.
Another one.
Yeah. Because here's the realization of it is, for the most part, we all play the same music, right? Depending on the genre of DJ you are. It's the same music. Now there are creative ways to spice it up. Like I may play it differently than you, and you may play it differently, you know, than him. But it's the same music being circulated around, right? Now, with that being said, it takes a you know, another level type DJ to separate himself from just somebody who's playing music to somebody who's about to entertain you. You know, he about to jump on the mic too. And again, you literally about to lose your shit because of whatever they just said and that personal one-on-one engagement. Even though it feels like a one-on-one engagement, you're, again, talking to a large audience or whatnot. So I've been lucky enough to study some of the greats like that, and then learn the blueprint and take the blueprint and walk with it. And then, you know, it's taken me to where I'm at. But originally I started off as just a dude that's in the club. I was that dude on the microphone in the clubs because, you know, some of the DJs I worked with just gave me the opportunity to do that because they didn't really talk so much. And I always had that outgoing personality, you know, so I used to listen to the old school Uncle Al and you know, DJs like that used to get from like the Flea Market USA on the cassette tapes. I'm a little bit older. And then, you know, hear these, you know, Boulder Lover or these ride out DJs and stuff. And I was always inspired by that. So that I would learn how to talk and be creative and stuff like that. And then I got these club gigs by doing necessarily just that. And then to wrap it up, once those club gigs started to like, you know, diminish for the most part, because you got these club owners paying a DJ and then also paying me as an MC, you know? So once the budget started, you know, get slashed in half, then it was we just need a DJ. We don't need somebody talking to the microphone. So I basically had to teach myself how to DJ if I wanted to stay in this game for any longer than that. And that's the best decision I ever made in my entire life, man.
Wow. Man, you taught yourself? Wow.
Basically, taught myself. And, you know, I had some instructions from, you know, one of my guys, DJ Mikey Sims. He's a Kindle legend. He's the one that really brought me into the industry because when I was on the microphone, I used to do all his clubs. So, you know, he would, you know, give me, you know, pointers and stuff in the garage. And then I have a music background. I played drums for 14 years. So I know how to count beats. You know, I've been around these DJs. I know what song goes with what. I can tell you, oh, that's 97 BPMs. Oh, that's 100 BPMs. Okay, these two songs go together because this song is 97 and that song is 97. I've been a band geek my entire life. So that part of it was easier. That just came, you know, that was self-explanatory. That just came kind of easy. I just had to learn the art of DJ, you know, and then when I had that internship at 99 Jams and stuff and hanging out with Khaled and learning from him, you know, it just took me to a whole nother level.
Yeah, man. I heard you were Nick Cannon in Drumline.
I was, man. I was the real deal.
Yeah, I heard.
Oh, man.
Nick Cannon was out there on the BS. You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, y'all? What's crazy is how many people really think that Fam was getting down like that.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing none of that shit, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. As a kid, I was like, bro, he killing it. I got older, you start paying attention to more things. You're like, he's a good actor.
He destroyed that role, bro, because he had everybody food. Dog, he had band people food.
Yeah. When did you catch on? Or what you probably caught on because you do it yourself.
I'm like, he ain't playing none of this shit. And they were like, what? I'm like, I'm not being a hater. He ain't playing none of this. I know this.
You probably got a lot of arguments with band people too.
Straight up. But
that's crazy.
I did that, man. I did that. So in middle school, I was, you know, jazz band, symphonic band. I was more jazz band. I was on the drum set, and then symphonic band, bass or snare. And then when I went to high school, I was mesmerized by marching bands. So that's when I made the transition. I put the drumsticks down from the drum set and moved down to marching snare and stuff like that. So I did that.
I'm not gonna lie, that
all through high school, and then spent 3 years in the University of Miami doing that as well.
How did you like when you transitioned into to the drum line? Like, did you transition pretty easily, or was it hard? Because just moving and stomping, and that looks hard to me.
Yeah, I think the transition was more so okay, because having that musical background, I've known how to read music since I was in the 5th grade. So the music part of it was pretty much easy because when I was in symphonic band, which was like the orchestra for the most part, I was playing snare drums. You know, it's almost the same thing, or I played a little bit of bass drum, so I could read music like that. That wasn't the issue. The marching was different. Yeah, the marching was a little different because you're playing and marching at the same time. But again, I'm a drummer. I got rhythm. I can march left, right,
Yeah,
left, right, and play at the same time. It's like, you know, that's coordination.
Coordination, yeah. It looked like a little workout too. I'm not gonna lie too. It looked like kind of like a workout.
Definitely. But see, the marching snare is not as heavy as a bass drum or the quad or the quints, you know, which is like the 5 or 6 one. You know, it's not as heavy as that. So the marching snare was just that one drum that's super high pitched, and it wasn't that hard. The hardest part was reading harder music. That was the harder part.
Okay, so yeah, I was in chorus, and my last year of high school, I kind of regret not doing it from early on, but I was around these people that would think that was lame. So I was with older people. I always been with older people my whole life, and they were caught up in the wrong thing. So when I used to want to explore my musical talents, I used to be like, dang, I want to do it, but then if I did it, I felt like I wasn't cool at that time. I was young.
Yeah.
And as I get older, I start finding myself, my own personality and everything like that. I joined chorus, and I was like, damn, I regret this. I should have done this since 9th grade. But I did it my last year. So much girls were there. Like, I was like, how is this not cool? Like in my head, I was like, look at all these girls. Like, I feel like this was like the best thing in my life. Like, I was a tenor too. So I'm in chorus, like do, re, mi, fa, so. I was doing all that.
They were all like,
yo, I had dreads too. I had dreads.
Singer.
Yeah.
Man, I would have been.
What? Yeah. I was like, I could have took advantage of this, man. I had dreads and all. The teacher heard me sing because when you first go in the chorus, she tried to place you like bass, like she tried to put you based on your voice and everything like that. So when she heard me sing, she said, like, I just looked like a street nigga back in high school, like dreads and everything like that. So when she heard me sing, she was like, yeah, you a tenor, come over here.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. So I was just like, dang, like,
put me
all these girls in here, man. I was so like, I was just shocked, bro. I was like, damn.
Yeah, you felt bad on that, bro.
Yeah.
It was similar.
I would have been in chorus. If I could sing, I would have been in chorus since the 6th grade.
Yeah, but I was always
in college.
I was just always into sports, and I was around these, for me, like, my neighbor was a street guy, so I got caught up in stuff, and it was just crazy.
But yeah, that was like, mine was similar, man. I started playing piano like when I was really young, and I got to a point where I can just play it without looking at the notes. And played violin, I played the horn, and it's like actually like taking lessons, you know what I'm saying? But I stopped doing it. And when I was playing the piano really good, I didn't have to look at the notes, and then I just stopped. I should have. And then the crazy thing was that I had the like those little pianos with the beats on it already, and then you can kind of create them, but it was a literal like a piano, but it had those lame sounds on it.
Yeah. I remember those. I used to play those too.
They had the waltz.
Yeah.
The conga pre-beat. Yeah, it was some whack ass shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, how am I supposed to vibe to the waltz?
Oh man, those are throwbacks, bro. I don't think they got those anymore, do they?
No, they don't, bro. Casio was big on those Casio keyboards.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they were big on that, bro.
Speaking of that, yo, MDot, did you like with the you still know how to cut, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about like the digital turntables, or like the people who say they're DJs but they just click the mouse and pick different songs? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, he's not gonna go in. It's like a family of DJs.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say
you know how quarterbacks don't say nothing bad about other quarterbacks.
No.
I think I'll answer it as politically.
Look, politically, yup. Look.
As I can. nowadays, it's so much easier to be a DJ because it's a cool thing to do now, right? But when I say that it's a cool thing to do, that doesn't mean that like people are not really putting in the time that I had to put in. It's been 15 years I've been doing it, so I had to put in time to get to where I'm at. But now, because of social media and stuff like that, anybody can be a DJ. That's why you see some of these celebrity DJs, and you're like, wait, didn't you used to sing or you used to model, and now you're a DJ? It's kind of weird, but it's anybody can do it per se nowadays. Because the realization is, again, if we're all playing the same songs, anybody can play these songs, though. Anybody can do it. And so if I give you a list of 50 songs, and I'm gonna be like, yo, Clark, you about to rock this party with these 50 songs? Just play them in this order. Well, you're gonna be able to do it. Yeah. It's not that difficult, right? Cool. Now, you may not scratch or blend the songs, but you may let the whole song ride out, then move to the next one, but you can play the songs, and I'm gonna guarantee that it's gonna get the party high. Cool. Well, now that we're in this social media era, anybody can basically do it, and now and a lot of these places are like, well, we'll hire so and so because they have 1 million followers, even though and they're considered a celebrity DJ, and people are gonna come out and see them, and I don't knock it because, hey man, go get the bag. I'm all for it, but it takes away. It's like almost like a disrespect to like the founding fathers of DJing and and stuff like that. And it kind of like diminishes the brand when you have way too many trying to be the brand. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I can say about it. But I mean, if you're gonna get the bag, man. It's cool. Just don't be one of those celebrity DJs, that used to be a model or used to be a singer or used to be something else, and let me come up after you, because I'm gonna tear that ass up.
Yeah. I used to throw parties myself, and you can tell the difference between each DJs. Like you can tell the skill level. Like I used to see, like before I book a DJ, I used to like to go to their parties to see how they spin, how they saw, because I want to make sure what I throw is the best. So I want the best out there. So I go to their parties and stuff to DJ, and you can tell sometimes by like you said, the MC, the hype, how they're conversating with the crowd, how they're DJing and everything like that. So, well, I don't know if it's just me because I got an ear for music, but I can always tell, okay, who's really spinning, who's really cutting, who's really on their stuff. Then you can tell when somebody's just using like the digital thing, like Clark said, who just playing a song out and then play the next song and whatever the case is like that.
And the digital thing, I don't knock that. Like there's DJ, like the technology that has come out right now is so advanced, but also it makes it a lot easier for a DJ. So like the little CD turntables and stuff that on the controller, all you gotta do is just press play. It's gonna do. You plug your laptop in, you load the song, and press play. You ain't even got to do all this. You don't have to. You can do all that, but you don't have to. All you can do is just press play. Make sure you have the cue point to start right where you want it to start, right on that beat on the first, and then you're good to go. There you go. And then if you want to do the next one, you just slide over the crossfader, press play on that one. It's literally that simple for on these controllers. But they've made it a lot simpler for just about anybody to do it. And that's cool, whatever, man. As long as if you have some type of respect for the industry, then I'm all for it. If you're just doing it because it's the next wave for you, then it's gonna show that you're just doing it because it's the next wave, and you probably won't last that long in the business.
I agree. There's a couple of DJs that come to my mind because I used to be in the party field that so like you, Efeezy, DJ Fergie, Cooley, Oso City, Live Ass Reese. There's a couple, I don't know if you know all of them. You know all of them or no?
Most of them.
Okay, yeah. So those are the DJs I usually use to book events for. And Fergie actually kind of put me under his wing for a little bit. Because when I was
Fergie's a
doing
dope
party.
DJ, man.
Yeah. So I learned a lot from him too and his crew. And yes, he was cool. I learned a lot from him.
Yeah. See, you gotta, for DJing, it's because the game has changed so much. There's just, you have the performance aspect, and then you have the business side, and then you can see people that could, transition into the business side, like the Fergies and people like that. Like you can see how
Transition.
It's transition, and that's longevity, dog. At the end of the day,
yeah, he's been doing it for a while. He killing it. Yeah, and now he's flying jets and stuff. He's following his dreams, passion.
Yeah. So that's dope, man. And luckily I've learned, with being around Irie and having him as a mentor, and watching Khaled move the way he's moved.
Yeah, Khaled did. Yeah, he did it big.
Business side early on.
Yeah.
So
how important is that? How important?
It's hella important because you are your brand. Your brand is your worth. The more your brand is exposed, the better it is for you, and the higher your worth becomes. The more your worth becomes. So the business part of it is you gotta be on point with the business part, man, because when I first started off, it was just for the passion. You know what I'm saying? So it was the passion, which was cool. But then I realized, the passion will only take you so far. You got to start thinking like a business. Like you got to start, when they invented Coca-Cola, they were like, yeah, that's some really good ass soda, but we got to start thinking as a business how we can brand globally and really take off and stuff like that. Or McDonald's said, this might be a good ass pound of cheeseburger that I just invented, but I need to think bigger and figure out how I can have this in the mouths of everybody globally. So I use that same representation with DJ, man. It's like if you're in it for the longevity, then you have to make sure that the business side is on point, and you don't necessarily have to do everything yourself. You can hire management, you can hire an assistant, but you mostly have to be the number one ambassador for your brand. So for me, per se, 15 years in the game, I still spend 3 to 5 hours on social media every day. Every day. And it ain't just bullshit and liking some random girl pictures out of Miami. No. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For example, I'm really big on the Clubhouse app, that networking app that everybody's on now. Huge on that. I've been in a couple of rooms so far, some as a moderator and stuff like that, just networking, meeting people. People may not know who I am, and that's fine. My end goal, I want to become somewhat of a household name. So I need to go out there and still introduce myself until there's no introduction needed. So, again, I spend 3 to 5 hours every day on social media, interacting, liking, maybe, engaging with this, looking at how other DJs move, looking at other radio people move and stuff like that, because I need to make sure that I represent my brand to the best of my ability, because it's my name at the end of the day. And then the more my brand is exposed, the better it's going to be for me in the end goal.
Have you ever thought about your transitioning? Like, do you like what do you want to transition into?
So in 2018, I got opportunity to do a TV pilot, which is, you can still go on TLC. It was
JWoww, right?
JWoww.
Yeah.
So that was, every TV thing I've done, it's been with somebody. It was never as a co-host. It was with Jaime Foxx for, I don't know how many TV shows we've done when he had some kind of music release. So that was my first opportunity of doing a television show where I was featured not only as a DJ but a co-host. So and I went to school for that, radio and television broadcasting, what I've always wanted to do. So my transition is to kind of transition more into the TV side. And luckily, man, I made a good impression with those same people that produced the show. And God willing, man, we've been in a couple meetings and we're trying to throw something against the wall and see if it sticks for the new year. And
hey, let us know, man. I'd love to come and help and just soak a lot of information and learn things, man.
For sure, man. Well, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. That's how the game works. But
yeah, networking is important.
That is the transition, And then obviously getting back on radio, which I have a phenomenal opportunity to do in the new year. I can't release the details now because there's a press release coming out. But that's another transition. That's I want to stay in radio forever.
I know that was like your dream, right? So get into radio, your first love, and then
that's my first.
Just got caught up.
You
just got caught up in the DJ. Yeah,
I just luckily, man, God, I got my career as a DJ took off so fast that I didn't really have a chance to really dip into radio like I wanted to until years later. So, okay, to give you a brief description, when I was taking these classes at Dade, radio and television broadcasting classes at Dade, when I went back to school, they have a radio station in Miami-Dade South, Kendall campus. And they have the TV station at the North campus. So my radio classes would be in the Kendall campus, maybe let's say Monday and Wednesday, and my TV classes would be Fridays in the North campus. So I was doing that, soaking up all this stuff. So I knew that early on like that I wanted to do radio once I got an opportunity to do college radio, even though nobody listened to the shit. I knew that, it was great. Nobody listened to it. But I knew that that's where I wanted to go. So fast forward, because of that internship, because of that radio background, I was able to get that internship at 99 Jams with Khaled and K Fox. So this is like 2003 to like 2005. I'm driving Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays up to the station for free, but just soaking up game, basically being a board op, running the board so they can sit back and post on the microphone like this while I'm running the board and just learning game. And that's the reason why Khaled and I have that relationship we have now. And people don't know how far that relationship stems back, right? So learning game. Now, mind you, this is also in the time where I'm doing the clubs as an MC, but remember, I said that the gigs were starting to diminish. So I'm fumbling. I'm like, shit, I ain't got no club gigs now, bro. That's $150 a night I was doing. I was doing 3 nights a week just to talk shit on the microphone.
Oh boy, I would have been booking you crazy. 150
on the microphone. But this early 2000s though, bro. Early 2000s.
Okay. Price went up now. You can't get that. What about the COVID? What about the COVID price?
It's $150 to put the M and MDot on the flyer. Just the M. Okay. It's $150 alone just to put the M. Okay. After you get hosted by you, I'm gonna give you an M, and then we go talk for the rest of the stuff. We ain't gonna give you the detail, none of that. No, I'm just messing with you. But, yeah, man. So I'm thinking, I'm like, it goes back to, so what do I do? What do I do? And whatnot. So that's when I picked up the transition of DJing and stuff like that. And then being taken under Irie's wing, everything just clicked. I remember my first out of town gig was in late 2005. I flew to Indianapolis to do a bar mitzvah. And I had only been DJing for a couple months, but I got that music background. Plus, I've been rocking with DJs for a minute. So I rocked out and did that, came back, did another bar mitzvah for a prominent person at FIU. And then shit just took off from there. 2006, I was already on my first tour.
Jaime Foxx, right?
No,
that wasn't Jaime Foxx. It was who? Was Brooke Hogan?
Brooke Hogan. Okay. So let me really take you back. So all of this time, I got a daytime job at a law firm.
Yeah, you was a runner, right?
Runner, which is if people that don't know that are listening, is hey, go make a copy of this, boy. Hey,
actually, good thing you explained that because you know there's a different term for runner now.
What is it?
That's what scammers use. They call it people runners to. So rather than go do the work, they be like, "Hey, yeah, good thing you explained that. Good thing you explained that."
Even before that, a runner was a drug runner, wasn't it?
Yeah, too. Yeah, you can use that too. Yeah,
and a numbers runner. So if you were betting back in the days, hey, run me these numbers. They used to do that too. That's crazy.
Yeah,
wow, we dropping.
You see how these terms? Yeah, you see how these terms like correlate with each other.
Yeah, man, we dropping gems, y'all. So yeah, working at a law firm, doing all this stuff at the same time, and it was a lot going on. But at the end of 2006, so around in October, I was introduced to Brooke Hogan from Irie. You know, because I told you Irie took me under his wing, and he was like, "Yeah, Brooke's coming out." Brooke and her dad and everybody lived in Miami. You know, Hulk Hogan. Everybody knows Hulk Hogan, the most famous wrestler ever. So they lived in Miami, and she just came out with a song that was that featured Paul Wall. Now the song was doing numbers. So we went on a they were looking for a DJ because you know she was up there by herself, and you know that's kind of nervous when you're just up there by yourself and they may be playing your song from like the front of the stage, front house and whatnot. No, so that's
DJ. I remember that song too.
See, there you go. And you just jumped in hella late, but we glad to have you, Lisa Marie.
I was on a plane.
Okay, well put your camera on.
Oh, I look horrendous. I can't do that.
You see how I look? I ain't shaved in weeks.
This is my hi.
How you doing? Come on, family.
Sorry, this is what I'm currently coming home to, so I didn't want to be rude.
Oh, what them dogs hitting for? What you selling them for?
Oh, my Frenchies. Well, it all depends which one you want, but I only have these two left.
I need the COVID discount. I need the COVID I ain't working 9 months discount.
I got you.
That stimulus check discount.
The new
new one.
$600. Nah.
You get an extra 600 with a kid.
Straight up.
But I'm here. Sorry.
Well, we're glad to have you. So yeah, man, that song was doing numbers, and she got on a promo tour for what was Clear Channel, which is now iHeartMedia. Now you know iHeart it's like Walmart. They own everything, right? So iHeart owns every single station. So we did a promo run for a month and a half, almost 2 months, whatnot. And again, I was at a law firm making $10 an hour. Wasn't really making a lot of money. But I went on that promo run, came back, made a couple stacks. I ain't never seen a couple stacks. I'm living check to check. You know, bank account, getting hit with these withdrawal fee. You know, I'm
negative
account sometimes and all that shit. Yeah, man. So went on that and came back with a couple stacks and
never looked back.
The day after, so the tour ended the 15th, and the 16th I was on the plane to Los Angeles to go rehearse with Jaime for 2 weeks. Came back. Well, actually a little bit over a week because the show started. Our first show was December 26th, the day after Christmas. So yeah, I was out in LA from the 15th to about the 23rd or so.
Okay.
Came home for Christmas, then flew back out. And I didn't have time to do radio because after that it was Jaime. After Jaime, because I had that relationship with, you know, the creative director, she put me on with Kelly Rowland, went out with Kelly Rowland for a little bit, did that.
That's awesome.
Back, got the Marlins gig for the Florida Marlins. I was the first in baseball, did that for 2 years. Also got the gig with Irie when Irie couldn't do Heat games. I was sliding in and doing the Heat games, doing
That's
that.
Awesome.
Then came back and got another tour I was on the road with Life Jennings for a little bit. Came back, you know, after this another year with the Marlins, and it was a lot where my career was taking off. And so I had to kind of put radio to the side, even though it was my first love and I've always wanted to do it. I was like, okay, well, I'll get back to it at some point. But right now, I'm going to go and get the bag with all these gigs and just grow my DJ career.
That's amazing.
That's a heck of a life.
So that's a lot of accomplishments at that.
Thank you. It's been a blessing. It's literally been a blessing, but it's also been a blessing and a curse at the same time, because once you reach a level of success, then number one, I'm never content.
Okay.
So it keeps me up. And I'm not one to bask in my own glory. Like, I'll accomplish something, and then I'm like, oh, cool, that shit was dope. What's next? I gotta up it now. I have to up it. So it's almost like an adrenaline high. I need to. It's my drug. I did that. Cool. What's next? Okay.
I mean, I'd rather have that though than somebody who's just content. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, I like to have that drive. That's my number one fear, to just feel comfortable after I hit a certain goal in my life.
Exactly.
But then again, you also sacrifice your personal life too, Roosevelt. So
yeah, you're right.
That's the difficult part of it. And Clark, like your personal. I didn't have a personal life. I couldn't date nobody seriously. I was always on the go. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really hang out that much because I lived in my workplace. That was what I wanted to do for my life. So it was 6-7 days sometimes working, then when I got the radio gig, it was all over. I was doing way too much shit at once. I was like wearing too many hats. So, but I deal with controlled chaos really well. And that's what keeps me going. So for me, it worked out for me, because when I'm stagnant or content, then I'm really bugging in the head, and it takes a toll on your psyche, your mental psyche. So
of course.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good. That's good. Just like Roosevelt said, it's good to keep going. I noticed did that rub off on you from somebody? Because I know DJ Khaled is like that.
Yeah,
I've seen, he's like that heavy,
So being around people like Khaled and the Irie, and then obviously once I got the connection with Fox, hold on, give me a second. Once I got the connection with Fox, and being around people like that and seeing how they move, so I'll give you. Let's speak on Jaime, for example. You have a comedian. You have an actor. You have a pianist. He went to school on a scholarship to play piano. Like, he went to college on a scholarship to play piano.
I mean, I seen him play. What was his name? Stevie Wonder.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. Sorry about that. Yeah.
And Ray Charles is a legend. Like him, and he had to rehearse with Ray so Ray could give him the stamp of approval.
Wow.
Let me see what you bought, boy. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
And play the blues and see what you bought. And Jaime would tell you this story. I don't want to tell it because I want him to tell it, but he'll tell you a story where he was playing the blues and he had hit the wrong note, and Ray stopped him and was like, "Why would you do that?" Imagine doing that. So
that's crazy.
You have an artist, a Grammy Award-winning artist, and then I'm sorry, I didn't say Oscar Award-winning actor, television host with Beach Shazam, a host in general, an MC, because we still do gigs where we're not on tour, but a billionaire may hire him to come and do an event, and I'm right there with him. He's the master of ceremonies. It's like this guy can do every single thing. So they say you are who you surround yourself with. So when I'm surrounding myself with people like Irie and Khaled and Jaime, it's only going to rub off on me. So, and then that just makes me want to be, okay, well, I can do the TV thing with JWoww. I can do the radio thing with Fort Myers for 5 years. I can do the Heat. I can get these endorsements and work with, Nike, or work with, this company or stuff like that. And I can do FIU, I can be on the road with Fox. That makes me want to do all of these things. And sometimes it gets like I'm doing way too much, but that's the only way to be, man. That's really the only way to be. And you know how we spoke earlier, you are your brand. And the more avenues you touch, the more your brand is exposed. So why would I just limit myself to just, you know, doing the heat and doing something else when I can try to, you know, if I have the talent, I'm gonna dip my hand in all of this. You know, I'm gonna dip my hand in all of this. What's the saying? Jack of all trades or master of none. What is it? Something like that?
Yeah.
Jack of all trades.
What is it?
It's jack of all trades.
Yeah, but what's the
master of none?
Master of none.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. That's cool with me. I'm not a master of none of them. I learned every day, but you know what? I got my hands equally involved in every single one of them, and you gonna know. So you're gonna see me with Fox. You're gonna see me at the Heat games. You see this ring on the finger. You know, you'll hear me on the radio. You'll see me back on television. You'll see me at a club. You'll see me rocking this, you know, this party for Nike or whatever it is. Okay, that's cool. I may not be the most talented, but I got my hands in all of them. You may know somebody that's better than me, but I got my hand in all of them.
Well, I did hear that it takes 8 sources of income to become a millionaire.
Look at that. 8.
Grant Cardone.
Look at that.
And it's like I look at it as like sports too. Like when you're picking a team, I'd rather have that person. That person might be talented, more better, like skill wise, but he might not play defense. I'd rather play the person that works, put in that work, who's going to work hard.
Yeah, I want the person that's going to put that work in, like you said. So give a basketball analogy. I want the person that's going to die for the loose balls. You know what I'm saying?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I'm gonna hustle. You know, I'm gonna be. You know, I want that person as opposed to the most talented person, because I know that person ain't gonna give up on me. That person gonna go hard every single time, and that's what you need, bro.
I heard a story that you gave with you was talking about you was playing football and how you stopped playing football, and it just reminded me of what the same thing that happened to you happened to me. You were playing football one day as a running back. I was playing running back too. You get hit and you was like, you know what? Yeah, I don't think this is for me. I'm gonna play basketball.
Yeah, so when we moved to Miami, I stopped playing baseball because I was fascinated with football. We didn't have football growing up in that small town I grew up in. So when we moved to Miami, it first started like street football, you know, the flag, the tag. You know, you play that.
Well, them days used to be rough. I used to come home scraped up,
for sure,
bleeding.
For sure. But then that transferred to, well, I want to play tackle football because I'm pretty nice right now. You know, with this outside, you know, 2-hand touch football. So I remember my first year, I'm playing for Hammond's Warriors. We play one of these, and this is, you know, it's Kendall. It's all, you know, it's all white. You know, I'm like the only black kid on the team, probably. I'm like, hey, give Mikey the ball every single time. He's the fastest. He's the token Negro. Give it to him.
We got him.
Yeah, you know, I got the superpowers and shit. You know, so it was like I remember we playing one of these black organizations, you know. And I took it's called a halfback sweep. So it's basically where y'all can see me if I stand up. Oh no, So it's basically where the quarterback hike and let's say he goes to the right this way and he just tosses it out.
I remember those.
Right? So Blue 42 said, hey! And I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to get. So he tossed it out to me. I hit that corner, and bruh, some little black kid, he came out of nowhere, bruh. He came out of nowhere and leveled me. Like literally leveled me. I thought I was dead.
Was it like the hit Juju took the other day?
Oh, it was worse than that because Juju got up from that. I didn't get up. He knocked the breath out of me. Like they had to take my helmet off and pull me out the game. I was out the game that time.
And back in your days, you can't even tackle like that no more. They made tackle safer. Back in those days, they used to try to kill you.
Bruh, it was head-to-head comp. It was head-to-head combat, bro.
Yeah, it was rough back in those days.
For sure, leveled me. So that whole first year, it was tough because I was playing running back, being the fastest kid. So I was always getting lit up like that when we would play like the South Miamis or like the Richmond Heights or like, places like that. Now, when we played like the little white programs, I was killing. You ain't catching
killing
me.
It, yeah.
So that was the first year. Now, having gotten that experience and know what to look for, the second and third year, I started laying cats out because I moved. I was playing offense and defense. The first year I was only playing offense. The second and third year I was playing offense and defense. The second year I was laying cats out so hard they moved me to outside linebacker. I was playing outside linebacker and safety, which means I was coming in. I was trying to knock your head off.
Head off. Yeah.
I was a head buster. And the third, same thing. Captain on defense, safety. I'm trying to take you out for real. But that first year it was tough, man. It was interesting. And then when I went to high school, I was small. I've always been like a slim dude in stature. So I remember the coach and all my friends that I used to play in these leagues, these Pop Warner football leagues with, they're like, yo, you can come out, try out, bro. You can kill it. You do well. And I'm sitting here like, nah, dog, I'm too small for this. I'm not gonna do this because I had that flashback of when we played these black organizations. And now I'm in high school, so guess what? We're gonna play the South Miamis and we're gonna play the South Ridges and schools like that. I'm like, nah, and the Killians. I'm like, nah, dog, I'm cool. So what I do, I picked up a basketball and played 3 years high school basketball.
Coach was talking to MDot. Coach was talking to MDot, naming all the white schools, and he's like, And then he said one black school, and I said, nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Basketball.
I'm good. The division we're in, we gotta play all them schools. I'm like, nah. You're not about to knock my head off, bro. I'm good. I picked up a basketball and I'm like, it's a lot safer, bro. And it's indoor too. And you get to see my face when I score.
Yeah. It was lit.
Remember that.
I wanted to, because I didn't know this about you. You actually went to school or you wanted to go to school for law, as a law enforcement at one point.
Yeah, man. Because having you asked some good questions, dog. And I've been doing the podcast circuit. I've been doing a lot of these podcasts lately in preparation for mine, which is coming out in January too.
Okay.
And
thank you for the tea. Thank you for the tea.
Yeah. Some of them were just like, well, like it's great that we want to know about the MDot part, but I'm in my mind, I'm like, you can actually dig deeper and kind of go and find out where I've been over, how I've gotten to that. But yeah, man, y'all doing your thing, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Having, growing up again with my mom being in law enforcement, that was just something I wanted to do. Seeing her in law enforcement, and that's just something I've always wanted to do. So when I got a little older, I was like, okay, well, do I? And then I got that bug for entertainment. I was like, damn, this is tough. I can go this way, to the law enforcement side, or I can go this way with this newfound drug in entertainment. And it led me that way, but I got a lot of respect. I got a lot of friends who are law enforcement officers. I wanted to do more, so I didn't want to be like your ordinary,
cop.
White cop, like the one I wanted to do.
Eating a donut, sitting there on the stoplight.
I ain't gonna say that because I got friends that are cops. A lot of them.
Well, your coach used to be one, so you grew up around cops. A lot of
and then having my so I played in the police athletic league in basketball 1 year, but even my football coaches for when I used to play for the Hammonds Warriors, all my coaches were cops. From 6th grade to 7th grade to 8th grade, and then playing in the police athletic league in the 8th grade, all my coaches were cops. So I've always been around it. So imagine that, like you've been, and from my mom growing up to being around these coaches. Again, the most important aspect of it, I didn't have a father. There's no father figure. So my coaches have kind of taken that role, as a father figure and that leadership role. And I'm looking at them and they're successful, cool ass cops. Different colors. None of them were black, dog. None of them. They were all white, but cool ass cops. Took me under their wing. Come on, all this stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is what I really want to do because my mom, was in there, and then the coaches are in there. But when it got time to talk to my mom about which way I should go, she didn't really want that for me. She wanted me to do something else.
Same thing with my mother. I'm not gonna lie. I've always been interested in movies and shows where, like, undercover detective or gang unit or
SWAT,
like FBI, SWAT. Yeah. I don't know why. I always been interested in that. I just like watching movies and shows like that. So I kind of semi wanted to go that way too. And then I bring it up to my mom and dad, and they didn't like that because they grew up in that era where cops are beating on black people, cops are shooting so they didn't think it was safe to even become a cop or get into that field. So I kind of like semi went towards sports and the other things. And the funny thing about it is you actually wanted to become a detective or you wanted to join the gang unit. So what are your thoughts right now with the climate we live in right now with Black Lives Matter, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and everything like that?
It's great to see the whole world behind the movement. Now, on the flip side of that, it sucks that it took so long and we've lost so many lives that it took so long for us to realize that this shit was really going on in our neighborhoods. And not us, I'm saying the world in general.
Before you go, the crazy thing about it, I actually heard some white people say, I didn't know it was that deep. I didn't like they're ignorant to the fact.
It's not even ignorance though. It's just the fact that they live in a different world, Roosevelt.
Yeah, so, true.
And that's why you can't. So when my white allies jumped on the whole Black Lives Matter and all that movement and was checking on me all the time, I couldn't even fault them for showing up late to the party. Why? Because I was happy that they even came to the party.
True.
They just came. I don't care if you came an hour late. You came to the party, right?
Yeah.
So I was excited that they even did that. So when it was time to, when they reached out and stuff, and I was explaining it, and it caught them by surprise. They were like, I didn't know that this shit was really going on. And I'm like, yeah. And then I told them my stories where I've had some run-ins with law enforcement, never because I did anything bad, but mistaking identity. And I'm a pretty successful dude, never been in trouble, never got arrested, none of that shit. But a couple times there was some mistaking identity or a mistake, and a pulled out on me. And I'm like, hey, So when I never opened up about that until this started happening. And then people started reaching out and asking, when they were just checking on, just a wellness check about how I feel about what's going on. And then I would explain to them my situation and how I had to deal with stuff like that. And they were caught off guard because I've always been viewed as, oh yeah, that never happened to you. Like even though you came from a single family, like you turned out perfect. You're educated, you speak well, this and that. And I'm like, okay, but shit still happens to people. Like that don't mean nothing, So again, once I told them my run-ins with, mistaken identity, they were shocked. And I'm like, yeah, but just imagine this shit happens all the time. There's some people that don't go home from that. Yeah. Luckily, that my situations that the cops that I was dealing with, this was a while ago, so they weren't necessarily shoot first, deal with it later. That was like, okay, what's going on? Oh, you live here? Cool. Let me see your ID. That's my ID. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. You can go on. All right, cool. Put your shit away. I'm going on. It was a different time. It wasn't like what it is now. Now, in regards to the climate and what's going on, we have to, I think, as Americans, and not even Americans, just people all over the world, need to stop viewing Black and brown skin as a threat. Okay, and I a side of me wants to understand why. If that makes any sense, not that
it makes totally sense. I think like that too.
Yeah, like I don't justify the shit, but I kind of understand why, and I'll dig deep in a little with that. It's like when you see, gosh, man, it's like when you see when you watch Cops or something like that. Or when you watch the news, who's getting arrested?
Black
who's getting
people.
arrested?
Yeah, black bro.
Or Spanish too. Yeah.
Now, if you at the crib and you watching that shit all the time, and you see that the people that are getting arrested look like you and I, then you're going to automatically assume that all the people that look like you and I are like the people that were getting arrested on television, on the news.
Right.
And those motherfuckers that got arrested on television got arrested for doing some dumb shit, right? They committed a crime, but you're already, you have your preconceived notions that, because you may see me walking by and I got a little tattoo and, I may dress like this and look like this. You might want to hug, you might want to grab your purse a little bit tighter and shit. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't be liking that, man. You go in the elevator, they start grabbing their purse. You're like, yo, what's your problem?
But see, but that's because of, and again, some of it is ignorance, but also some of it is because that's what they're programmed to see. So that's where we, as people of color, have to kind of like, we can't just be rah about it. We got to just sit back and kind of educate these people and let them know, hey, I'm not like that. Like, when you see me walking, let's say my car's parked next to your car and you're in your car and, you see me walking close to your car and you want to hit the lock. I ain't worried about you.
Yeah.
in your Honda, I got this Jag. I ain't worried about you. Yeah, but it's so, again, a side of me wants to, I kind of feel bad for them because they live in a different world and they don't have to experience the stuff that we experience as people of color. But another side of me is like, well, how did you kind of not know what was going on? Like, we live in America, man. We see what the hell it is, But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I think when all that stuff went down, I used to visit because I used to live over in Fort Myers, Naples area.
Yeah,
that's a really red town. Being in a red state, that's a really red area. But I had to sit back and check myself because I was viewed differently by those type of people that lived over there. So when I was visiting these social media platforms, let's say i.e. Facebook, and people were posting when they were going back, when they were trying to talk shit about the Black Lives Matter movement or whatever was going on, or say George Floyd was a criminal or whatever it is, which I normally don't do, I was chiming in and giving people the business, giving them the business. And it was, argumentative, going back and forth argument, but I had to let them know that no matter a person's background, that person was still a human being and didn't deserve to die. So how can you justify that person losing his life, even though he has some transgressions from the past? Shit, everybody done fucked up at one point or another, for the most part.
Believe it or not, the people with money are usually white, and they're able to erase that part.
Right.
People who don't have money can't erase it, so they get stuck with that stigma.
Right. So it's like I was visiting all these platforms and stuff like that, and I was literally getting into arguments with people, and I'll go a step further. When there was some people that I was cool with that didn't understand where I was coming from until I had to educate them on there about where I stood and where I was coming from. Meaning they a lot of people, and I hate this, but some of these people viewed me as like, I've been hit a couple times with, you're the blackest white guy I know.
They do that with athletes. They forget they're black.
I'm like, that's kind of racist, right? That's not a racist thing to say. So what's your idea of a black person? Is he supposed to? Hey, what up, Mike? What is he supposed to do? So because we're in a new age, we're educated, and we've been put in some good situations with our upbringing, with our parents and our grandparents and stuff like that. So now we're assumed we act like white people. No, but they don't know this because they live in a whole different world. So I had to check myself coming from a place of privilege because I had a good upbringing. I had some influential, important people around me. So so these people probably didn't have the same opportunities that I had. And then living over there, I had to take it a step further. It made me realize that I came from a place of privilege because living over there, do you know that so I was on the radio, so I was a local celebrity over there, okay? And I knew quite a few people, and I'd done a couple of events with law enforcement to bridge the gap between the community and law enforcement. So that was my thing. Whenever I had an opportunity, I was going out there showing love, whether it was a basketball game or a football game, whatever it was. I was going out there and showing that I support the community and I also support law enforcement because we need law enforcement. So it gets to the point where I have the top cop, which is the sheriff. Yeah. I have him on speed dial on my phone. Now, I'm talking about personal numbers, Clark and Rozay and Lisa, personal cell phone, where Buddy tells me, if you need me for anything, you make sure you call me. Okay.
It's like the movies when the white kid gets pulled over. It's like, you don't know who my dad is.
Oh yeah, so for sure.
But luckily for me, I don't drink or anything, so I ain't gonna get no bullshit like that. I don't do drugs either, but it's like, so I have, and then I was like, so when all this was going on, I'm sitting here and I had to take a step back and I'm like, yo, I actually come from a place of privilege that some of these people that look like us don't have these same opportunities. I have the top cop and several cops in my phone, and I could call them for anything that I need, or I can get access to this, or I can do this, or I can do that. And I'm like, yeah, man. So when these people view me being different, I had to let them know that first and foremost, I'm a black man in the United States, bro. So whatever you may view me as, I'm a black person first and foremost. Then everything else comes after. So it's like, okay, well, my man Silver just showed up. You about to be on this podcast, bro. So just come in and go to the left. Say what's up.
What's up?
What up?
Hello.
Over right there.
Hey.
And Gia.
Oh, so cute.
Came to the house of getting on. But man, I had to literally check myself and be like, this is crazy. Like we're afforded different opportunities. So let's make sure that whenever we do talk to a person that doesn't understand that, like you said, that this shit goes on all the time, well, we have to let them know that it really does. And it can happen to you, and you're both, college educated. Lisa, you are as well. So it's like it can happen to every single one of us. And we have to let them know that just because a person looks like this doesn't mean it's more likely to happen. No, it's more likely to happen to all of us, though.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you because we tend as a people, because we're so tired of it. It's like when somebody keeps stepping on you, you're bound to just explode. So when somebody don't understand, you just explode instead of explaining to them. It's kind of hard not to, because you've just been like, it's like, so in front of you is like, how you cannot see this and you just explode.
Yeah. But it's also, again, I like to play devil's advocate. I like to see it from both sides. It's really like they're in a whole different world and just never had to experience that. So I'll give you an example. So, when they're 16 or 17 driving late at night, they don't, and they see a police officer pull up behind them, they probably didn't have to worry about everything. Yeah. But when we're driving, we're like, shit, make sure the seatbelt on, cool.
Anxiety, all that.
Make sure there's blinkers on when I turn. Let me put the cell phone down so they don't think I'm on the phone. Let me
hands up.
Yeah, this is not even that they were gonna pull us over, but just because they got behind us, And just because they got behind us because they were traveling somewhere with us, not because they were going to pull us over. No, that's a whole different story. I'm just saying, like, you know, like when you're driving and they pull up behind you and you get that sense like, oh shit, let me make sure everything's clear.
Yeah, right? Tensed up, yeah.
Yeah, you make sure you you pull the seat forward a little bit.
Stop driving like an old person.
Yeah, because at first you was like this. Now you like now you way up on it, you know. But again, they don't have to worry about stuff like that. So instead of lashing out and getting mad, I think it's better for us to just educate them. Just let them know, you know, because remember they already what they see on the news and all that other shit, they already think that we angry and stuff, and we're fed up. We should be. Right? We suck.
Another thing too is like I believe that they need to do their own like the genealogy of themselves, because a lot of them are black. Like down the line, because I see one of my friends, he's blue-eyed, he doesn't have blonde hair, but he has dark hair. Come to find out, both grandparents on each side are black. Not only are they black, they were well renowned in up north. One was a doctor, one was a scientist from back then, like way back. Right. And it's crazy because when you look at him, you're like, no, he can't be. No, like when he found all of that when his grandmother passed away, and they found a whole bunch of books and diaries and stuff, and come to find out, you know, they have that lineage. So they're not, you know, if they do their research and find out, you know. Yeah,
somebody in there is of color.
Yeah.
Somebody. And then it shocked the hell out of them too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just like, you know, if they do their history, especially like the Italians, like especially Sicilians, when they first came here off on the boat, a lot of people don't know is that there were 4 Italian people that were hung straight off the boat. They were hung, like, you know, how they used to do with black people. And then when they found out where they were from, they're like, oh, matter of fact, not most people don't know that the Italian people got reparations from that. But I'm not even gonna get into that. Yeah, there's a lot more to it. But yeah, they got reparations, and Asian people, and also who else? So a few other people got reparations. But other than the reparations,
Indians like got reparations.
A lot of them. Everybody, you know, if they look at their lineage, I guarantee you, or I wouldn't say guarantee you, but I would say like most of them would double. You know, they'll think and they'll be like, "Whoa, my family went through this," you know.
Right.
It's crazy.
They changed their mind. I got 2 more questions before we wrap it up. So, you being around Jaime Foxx and everything like that, what's the most important thing you learned from him?
There are 2 things. The first, loyalty. He's a really loyal dude. The people that are around him are the people that have been around him for 20 plus years. So if you play your part and don't really fumble the bag, you're gonna be around my man for forever. You know what I'm saying? More importantly, to what I mentioned earlier is so we have this saying, you know, we're gonna ride this till the wheels fall off, right? So meaning you better go out and get it until you no longer can, because at some point somebody's going to come under you and get it, and then they just gonna slowly push you out, and then they gonna be the new hot thing.
It's like the music game.
Right, which is why, you know, when we were talking earlier and I was like, you know, I wear many hats. That's the reason why I wear so many hats, because I learned that from that person, you know, to make sure you have your hand in everything. And that's why I do what I do. And I try to be involved in just about everything, because that's just, again, that's longevity. And the more avenues that your brand can touch, the better it is for you in the long run.
Okay. And then you actually performed in front of George W. Bush and Obama. How was that? Like meeting both of the presidents?
It was cool. The George W. Bush thing was cool because that was for a Super Bowl when it was in Dallas. So that was the first year they opened up that stadium. And Jamie, Jamie's from Dallas, but Jamie is always the performer for everything. So we did a show out there with Jamie and Jennifer Hud, with J Hud, and that was pretty cool. If you've never been around the president before, Secret Service be on 1,000.
Oh yeah,
I can only imagine.
They're endless, and they're all over the place too. At that, they hide, they dress as normal people.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how it is now with COVID? So if you're around and you sneeze, achoo!
Oh man. When you do these events, you have to send all your information. They run an extensive background check.
Oh wow.
Extensive. If you have anything on your record.
Oh, they know everything, down to like your lunch detention in sixth grade.
They'll be like, yeah, we cool. You might want to replace that person with someone else. So the Super Bowl thing in Dallas was dope. But and being around George W. Bush was cool. Didn't get a chance to say hi to meet him, but he was in the audience, front row, whatever. The Obama thing was a lot cooler because it was right before he left office. So it was at a DNC fundraiser, and it was at a house in Beverly Hills, in somebody's house, backyard. Okay. Now, what's crazy about but it's real intimate. Just think maybe 100 to 150 people, maybe. Now, let's say the event starts at noon. I think I had to get there. Now, because this is residential, they block off the entire neighborhood. Only residential traffic will come in and out, and they basically escort you to your crib. Like, you're not driving. Like, if you're not driving out and trying to come back in, you better walk out or just stay at home for the next 3 hours, because the shit ain't happening. It's not happening. Maybe before that, but the closer he shows up to the event, then it's on complete lockdown. So let's say 9 to 10, or let's go even before that. 7 to 10, they might be a little lenient. Now, there's 2 Secret Service details. There's a Secret Service detail that goes before the president arrives and scopes out the scene, sets up, builds the tower, gets the tower, all that shit, locks everything, get ready for that. And then you have the Secret Service detail that travels with the president. So the ones that get there, they're cool, they're laid back. I was talking to a few of them once I got there kind of early. So, and then you have the regular cops, and you have the state cops, everybody just blocking off the roads and stuff like that. So you get there a little early and you're like, yeah, you could feel helicopter going there. You're like, okay. You kind of feel that this, you tense up like, oh shit, like, make sure I have a pen on me, like, make sure I ain't got nothing that's viewed as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like, this is a little crazy. And then again, the closer it is to when he comes, then they just shut the entire thing down. So this was again for a fundraiser. It was probably, I'm guessing, no less than $50K per plate, maybe no less. Reese Witherspoon was the host. She lived like literally next door. So they had Jamie perform and Kelly perform. So it was the best of both of my worlds with Jamie and Kelly, 2 artists that I've toured with. And it was hella dope, man. We got to perform, got off the stage to clear the stage. And then you kind of sense that he's coming because you start to see more of the Secret Service detail come in. Now the helicopter's really flying. Now there's 2 helicopters. Now they're really flying around. I think one is Secret Service, the other one could be med evac, like that's really fast. That they just in case they need to get him out super fast. And boom, he shows up, and I'm like crazy, I can't believe this is happening. And then we had a chance to meet him after. And what you see, the charismatic person that you see on television is the same person you see in real life. Like, he's literally that guy. Now, I've done my research on him. I've read his books and stuff like that. So I know, number one, he's a Leo, just like myself. And number two, he likes to hoop. So we all joke with him about that. And if you watch the video on my IG, like you'll say, you'll hear me say, because I was literally right next to him in the blue suit.
Yeah, I heard you.
And I heard you. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, he's a Leo, right? I was telling my boys. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm a Leo. And I was like, yeah, I'm a Leo too. Some random fanboy moment, I had. Like, I'm a Leo,
Just me hearing that conversation between you, I was like, yo, he's pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
I was like, this guy cool.
If you watch the video, Rose, and you watch it, all of it, because my boy jokes, and one of Jamie's background vocalists jokes, and was like, President Obama, what you want to do? And he motions like basketball, and then President Obama, he's like, it's always a brother that thinks he can know how to hoop, and we all just start dying laughing. The president just said this shit in front of us. But
go ahead, Clark. Yeah. Clark, let me hear the impression.
No, I don't know.
Let me hear Obama's impression. Clark is good with those impressions.
I don't do that.
You're on blast now, bro.
No, not me.
He's like low key doing it when he speaks too.
Yeah, look at him. He's thinking about doing it right now. You gotta close it out with the impression. Yeah, but it was the most memorable moment in my career for sure. That was one for sure. And that's something that in that picture I have to frame it too, and I haven't framed it yet. But that's one of the most proudest moments of my entire life.
That's cool. Yeah. So let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming on, man. We definitely gonna bring you back on. We definitely gotta link up to play hoop too, because I play hoop too. I want to see what you got.
Let's get it, man. You don't want these.
I just got a basketball hoop in the driveway too for the kids.
Oh yeah,
we do like this whole family one-on-one,
That's what I do.
Let's get it. We might have to do like a play thing, like I don't know, like get a game going on.
Hey man, I'm trying to tell you, that's what I does, man.
I do that too now. I do that too. All right, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
Sure.
Yeah. For the culture.
Appreciate y'all.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise, appreciate it. Send me the link and stuff so I can when you get it all ready, and I can put it out so people can check it out, man. I appreciate it, man. It's definitely one of the best ones I've done, man. Y'all really dug deep and had some dope questions and stuff, and it was authentic.
Thanks, man. We're leveling up every time we do an interview, and we're leveling up on the guests too. So we've been getting a lot of compliments, so we're gonna keep it going.
Keep it going, man. Keep it going. The culture needs it.
Thank you.
All right.
It's good to see people, young black men and women out there doing their thing. So y'all keep doing it.